Howdy, I'm Jack Harris, just kind of nosing around in Cracker Country here at the Florida State Fair. This is one of my favorite places. As you see, I even try to prepare for it by, not shaving for a couple of days here, because crackers are kind of like low-altitude hillbillies. And being a hillbilly, I feel a deep kinship to these crackers around here. And with me is Rip Stalvey, and this guy knows Cracker Country better than anybody anywhere. And Rip, how did this all come about?
Well, Jack, Cracker Country was actually conceived by Doyle Carlton Jr. and his wonderful wife, Mildred. When the fair moved out here 31 years ago, or 32 years ago, they were walking around and they thought, we could really do something with this little grove of trees here and make it into a real attraction for the fairgoers.
That's the great thing, because of the actual, what Mother Nature gave this area. Right. It looks like old Florida.
It really does. And they started with the two-story Carlton house, and then slowly over a period of years, they brought in more buildings from all over the state. They moved them all here, and they were restored and furnished with antiques of the period. But honestly, I think when Mr. and Ms. Carlton started this, they didn't really realize that it would grow to be what it is today. And that's a wonderful living history museum, one of the best in the southeast United States.
Oh, it is. And again, it's year-round now, too.
We are open
year-round. People can come here anytime. Classes, things like that can come here.
We do school tours in the fall and in the spring. We have our Discover the Past events the first Saturday of each month, where the public can come out and they can actually experience, not just see, but experience what their life was like in 1898.
And again, these buildings around here are all genuine. These have been moved from their locations where they were originally here,
right.
and there are a ton of them. I don't know how many buildings you have on the property.
We have 13 original buildings here.
13 original buildings.
13 original.
And then you have people who are actually engaging in the crafts of the time, who are engaging in making the food, everything from beef jerky. I was watching a woman over there a couple of minutes ago whipping up some pone. I mean, she was just dipping it out on a hard metal thing. I mean, it was an awesome thing to see, and I know it'll be an awesome thing to smell in about another 5 minutes.
That's right. It's good stuff.
Now, where do you come from? I mean, you talk like, you talk like a hillbilly if I didn't know you was a low altitude.
Sorry about that. Now, I am a seventh generation Floridian. My family came here in 1842. Settled north of Plant City in what was in a little community called Hitchapocasassa, which we were talking about earlier.
Boy, they had a heck of a time getting that high school band to spell it out.
Yeah, but it wasn't too bad. They only had 2 members. So.
Well, that's good. But how would you define Cracker Country in Florida? I mean, what was it? All of the interior, or what was Cracker Country?
Well, when you consider during the time period we're portraying, 1898, there was probably 3 people per square mile in the state. It was very rural. It was very wide open spaces. A lot of cattle ranching back then, as we do today. And I can distinctly remember my grandfather describing living back then as root hog or die poor.
Root hog or die poor. I love that. That ought to be on a T-shirt.
There you go.
But, okay, now the term cracker, we hear it all the time. Does that come from the crack of the whip, the guys who crack the whips and everything?
That's exactly right. They would use the crack of the whips to herd the cattle. They wouldn't strike the cows because you didn't want to leave a mark on the hide, because that decreased the value of the cowhide when you sold them. And they would even use them to communicate, and they could be heard for long distances, sound very much like a rifle shot. And when they would get near a community, the folks would come in there and they'd hear those whips cracking, and they'd say, "Here come the crackers."
Here come the crackers. My goodness. I won't even tell you how the hillbillies started, but they call us Appalachian Americans now. We're going to have to work on something for you crackers. Anyway, I will tell you, as a guy who's been here year after year after year, it's an exceptional thing, and particularly if you have a family and you got kids, you need to bring them out here to Cracker Country to see what the past was all about here.
Absolutely. They can do anything they want to, from scrub clothes on a scrub board to churn butter, taste it on a cracker. It's just reliving the past, as we say.
Well, Rip, thanks a million for coming on down here, and I'm fixing to go somewhere else here and do something fun. I'll guarantee you that.
Okay, Jack, you have a great time. Thanks so much.
All right.
For one last meal, one monkey don't said he really won't. monkey don't stop the show.